Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. When you hear the word Yellowstone, what comes to mind? For many, it's geysers like Old Faithful, herds of bison, and breathtaking canyons. But for others, a more ominous word surfaces: supervolcano. For decades, the idea of a catastrophic eruption has fueled headlines and Hollywood blockbusters. But what's the real story? How close are we to a world-altering event? Today, we're cutting through the noise and diving deep into the science. We're going to explore Yellowstone's incredible plumbing system, its pressure valves, and reveal what the experts who study it every single day actually think. This isn't about fear, it's about facts. So stick around as we uncover the fascinating truth behind one of Earth's most dynamic geological wonders. Before we talk about pressure release, let's understand what's building that pressure in the first place. Deep beneath the picturesque surface of Yellowstone lies a massive magma chamber. Think of it as a gigantic, partially molten sponge of rock, not a huge cavern of liquid lava like you might see in movies. This chamber is the heart of the Yellowstone hotspot, a plume of hot material rising from deep within the Earth's mantle. This hotspot has been responsible for a series of colossal eruptions over millions of years, creating the Yellowstone Plateau we see today. The last of these truly massive caldera-forming eruptions happened about 631,000 years ago. So, the big question is, what's happening down there right now? Is the pressure building up for another big one? To answer that, we need to look at the park's most famous features. This is where the concept of pressure valves comes in. The geysers, the fumaroles, the bubbling mud pots, and the thousands of hot springs, these aren't just tourist attractions. They are the visible and vital release points for the immense heat and pressure coming from the magma chamber below. Water from rain and snow seeps deep into the ground through a network of cracks and fissures. As it gets closer to the magma chamber, it gets superheated. This hot water is less dense, so it rises back to the surface, carrying incredible amounts of thermal energy with it. Every eruption of Old Faithful, every hiss of a steam vent, is the volcano essentially letting off steam. This process is absolutely crucial. Without these hydrothermal features, heat would be trapped, and pressure would build up far more significantly. So, in a very real sense, the features that make Yellowstone so famous are also what help keep it stable. So what do the scientists at the Yellowstone Volcano Observatory, or YVO, think about all this? Are they worried? Well, their perspective is a lot more nuanced than the sensational headlines you might read. They see the hydrothermal system not as a sign of impending doom, but as a sign of a healthy, functioning volcanic system that is effectively regulating itself. They monitor this system with an incredible array of instruments. GPS stations track ground uplift and subsidence to the millimeter. Seismometers listen for the faintest of earthquakes, and satellites measure thermal output from space. This constant stream of data gives them a real-time health check of the volcano. They know that the ground in Yellowstone is always breathing, rising and falling as magma and hot fluids shift beneath the surface. This is normal. What they look for are significant, rapid changes that deviate from these established background patterns. One of the most common misconceptions is that any earthquake swarm in Yellowstone means an eruption is imminent. In reality, Yellowstone experiences thousands of small earthquakes every year. Most are too small for a person to even feel. These are often caused by the movement of hot water and gases through the subsurface plumbing, or by tectonic faults that are common in the region. Scientists at the YVO analyze these swarms carefully. They're looking for specific signatures, like earthquakes getting shallower and shallower, or a type of seismic signal called harmonic tremor, which can indicate magma is on the move. So far, the swarms observed in recent decades have all been typical for Yellowstone and have not indicated any magmatic intrusion towards the surface. They are simply the sounds of the volcano's plumbing at work, not the drumbeat of an impending eruption. So, let's address the elephant in the room. Could Yellowstone erupt again? The honest scientific answer is yes, absolutely. But the probability of that happening in our lifetime, or even in the next few thousand years, is incredibly low. Geologists have studied the rock record and found that massive caldera-forming eruptions are extremely rare events, separated by hundreds of thousands of years. The most likely type of eruption to occur at Yellowstone in the future is not a super eruption, but a smaller lava flow. These have happened dozens of times since the last major eruption, most recently about 70,000 years ago. While a lava flow would be a significant event within the park, it would have very little impact on the rest of the world. It would be a localized geological event, not a global catastrophe. The scientists who study Yellowstone are not alarmists. They are meticulous, data-driven researchers. Their job is to understand the volcano's behavior, not to predict a specific date for an eruption, which is impossible. They view Yellowstone as a massive natural laboratory. They see the pressure valves, the geysers and hot springs, as a gift, providing a window into the processes happening miles below our feet. The constant monitoring and research aren't driven by fear, but by a profound curiosity and a commitment to public safety. The Yellowstone Volcano Observatory provides transparent, up-to-date information, and if there were any signs of unusual activity that suggested a higher risk, they would be the very first to tell us. They look for long-term trends and sudden departures from the norm, and right now, the data shows that Yellowstone is behaving as it has for decades. So the next time you see a dramatic headline about Yellowstone, take a moment to remember the science. The geysers you see are not a warning sign, but rather a part of an incredibly effective natural cooling system. The ground is breathing, the earth is rumbling, and the water is boiling. And for Yellowstone, that's all perfectly normal. The real story isn't one of impending doom, but of a dynamic and resilient earth, constantly in motion. Scientists see a fascinating, complex system that is, for now, in a state of relative equilibrium. It's a place of wonder, not a place of worry. It reminds us that our planet is alive and we are incredibly fortunate to have a front row seat to watch it work. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the science of Yellowstone. I hope this cleared up some myths and gave you a new appreciation for this amazing place. If you found this video interesting, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more content that explores the wonders of our world. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.